Have you ever prayed and it felt like your words just stopped in the air? No response, no sign, no movements, just pure silence. And the dangerous part is, it's not even the silence. It is what you start to tell yourself because of the silence. Maybe God is not listening. Maybe you did something wrong. Or maybe God has forgotten about you. Welcome to Fly with Spyce, where faith meets real life, and where we talk about the quiet battles we face, the ones nobody clapped for, no judgments, just the truth with a little bit of spice. Let's not pretend. God's silence can feel very personal because you're not just praying randomly. You're praying about things that matters to you. You're asking God for directions. You're praying for provision. You're praying for healing. Sometimes you're praying for love and maybe your purpose. And when nothing happens, it doesn't just feel like delay. It feels like absence. Let's say you've been applying for something very important. You've prayed before submitting this thing. You believed that it's going to come through. You even went into Thanksgiving in advance, and then nothing happens. I mean, absolutely nothing. No emails, no feedback, no updates, no calls, not even clarity, just silence. And now your faith is no longer loud. Your faith now begins to question you. Let's talk about the person of Joseph in the Bible, a story people don't talk about enough. Because Joseph is one of the clearest examples of God working in silence. Joseph had dreams, very tall, gigantic dreams, very clear. Not the ones that had him guessing, did I see right? Was that a part of it? Or maybe I was just hallucinating. God showed Joseph clearly what his purpose is going to be. Then life happened. Joseph was betrayed by his brothers. He was sold into slavery in Egypt. In Egypt, he was falsely accused by Potiphar's wife of a crime he didn't commit, and he was mercilessly thrown in prison. Imagine this situation. God gave you a dream, maybe a vision. Then everything after that looks the opposite of that dream you were given. God spoke at the beginning, but during the process, all you registered was God's silence. No new instructions, not even explanations, no reassurances, just the process. Process that sometimes feels very confusing. Why does it feel like God is silent sometimes? I'm going to break this down clearly for you. Because silence is not always what we think it is. Silence is not the absence of God's presence. Just because God has been quiet doesn't mean that he's not close by. In Isaiah 45, verse 15, the Bible says, "Truly you are a God who hides himself." God sometimes works unseen, behind the scenes, not because he's inactive, but because he's working at a level you cannot see or understand yet. Silence is structure being built carefully, slowly. Some things God is doing in your life requires time, not because God is slow, but because the foundation must be strong enough to carry the purpose and the weight of the future God has in store for you. Let's look at this example. You have been praying for success, but God is silently building discipline in you, building character, building emotional strength and maturity. Because without these things, success becomes pressure and a burden and not a blessing. Silence exists to test your motive. This one is very deep, so you have to listen carefully. If God removes the reward, would you still stay with Him? Would you still pray to God? Would you still trust Him if nothing changes quickly? Nobody sees the progress. No, your prayers don't get instant answers. Will you stay with God? Because silence reveals whether you love God for God or you just love God for what He has to give you. Silence creates depth in us. When everything else is loud and very obvious, faith is very easy. But when things are unclear, that is where depth is formed. You build faith by not knowing when or how these things are going to happen, but just believing that it's going to happen regardless. Let's look at what God might be doing in silence while He's quiet. I want to shift your perspective a little bit because something is happening. Number one, God is aligning things you cannot see. God is calling people, He's creating opportunities and timing just for you. That delay you're experiencing or feeling right now might be saving you from the wrong environment, the wrong people, premature exposure to what you're not ready or equipped to handle. It might also be protecting you from things that might look right, but aren't right for you. Number two, God is working on you. This is the part we always don't like to hear because what we want is the quick fixes. Get it fast. We just want God to give it to us fast, fix the situation. But God is telling you today, I am fixing you first. God is fixing your patience, fixing your thinking, fixing your reactions, and it's fixing your identity as a person, which is very important for the journey you're embarking on. Number three, God is protecting you. Not every door that is open is a blessing. Some doors are distractions. Some are even traps. Some are things you prayed for but didn't fully understand it. And God's silence sometimes means this is not the way you should go. This isn't the path you should tread. Number four, God is teaching you to trust without evidence. This is where real faith comes into play. Not the I trust God because I see results kind of faith, but I trust God even when I'm not seeing results. That is the real faith. And that is what God is building through you and in you. Let's look at how you can respond to God's silence. Now, let's give this a very soft landing. This is because being practical is the way to go. We're going to look at the steps you'll follow. Step number one, try not to assume the worst of the situation that you're going through. God's silence is not rejection. Step number two, keep showing up regardless. Even when your prayer is, God, I don't understand. Even if it's God, I beg, that is enough. If you're showing up, God is showing up. Step three, quit comparing your timeline with others. Someone else's answered prayers is not your own confirmation. Your journey is very different, and your evidence is different from theirs. Step four, trust the process, even when it feels uncomfortable for you. Because we all know that growth is not always visible, but we know that growth is definitely happening quietly, internally, and behind the scenes. Trust God and His plans for your life. It's in your best interest. I'm going to leave you with this. Just because God is silent doesn't mean that He's still. In the same way seeds grow underground before anything shows up above the surface, God is working in places you can't yet see or imagine. And one day, What feels like silence now will begin to make sense to you. So do not give up just because you feel God is quiet or silent. Some of the most important things God does, He does them in silence. If this message spoke to you, then it means that you're in the right place and you're already flying with me. This is Fly with Spyce, where we grow through what we don't always understand. Please make sure to like this video. Share this message with someone who feels like God has been silent or God has abandoned them. And please subscribe. Thank you. And just maybe, God has just been working all along. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.